Hi guys, how are you? My name is Professor Aftab Khan, and I'm teaching you thesis seminar. You also know me. We have so many sessions before in the past, and the continuation of those lectures, we start again our lecture. Our chapter name is Literature Review. Literature Review is also a very important topic, and literature review is basically what is the meaning of literature review. And in this chapter we will discuss so many things regarding literature review, how to write a effective and a comprehensive and a best literature review in any thesis, in any seminar, in any research. Okay, so we're gonna discuss these type of things in today's lecture. I hope you will learn this lecture and enjoy this lecture and increase your learning abilities or skills to write a better research in a professional manner. Okay, so we start our chapter which is known as literature review. So what is the meaning of literature review is, at first we have to know, because in a comprehensive manner we will discuss this today regarding our literature review. Okay, so a literature review or a narrative literature review or a narrative review. Sometimes this literature review, in some places we also say this, that this is a narrative review, which is a type of review article. A literature review is a scholarly paper that presents the current knowledge, including substantive findings as well as theoretical and methodological contributions to a particular topic. Okay, literature reviews are secondary sources and do not report new or original experimental work. Most often, you can say this, that it is associated with academic oriented literature. Such reviews are found in academic journals and not to be confused with book reviews, which may also appear in the same publication. Okay, so a literature review, my dear students, are a basis of for research in nearly every academic fields. A narrow scope literature review may be included as part of a peer review journal article which presenting a new research serving to a situation, the current study within the body of the relevant literature, and to provide context of for the reader. Okay, in such cases, we can say this: the review usually precedes the methodology and results section of the work. Okay, it produces literature review may also be a graduate of or a postgraduate student's works. For example, if you are a graduate student, so they definitely all the graduate students, mostly in many universities, needs to do or to write a thesis, as you are also writing a thesis. Okay, so in this scenario, definitely you guys have to write a research. Okay, so this literature review is essential in your writing research in a perfect manner. Okay, always we remember that literature review is a very important element of any research. Okay, and without literature review, research cannot be accepted in any place of the world. Okay, you know the importance of the literature review in some places. There are some researchers who have any urgency to write a research paper. So you know what they do? They only write a comprehensive literature review, and they said this, that we have a full research thesis. We, of course, we say this, that this sometimes this is not acceptable, or many times if you write only a literature review instead of writing other thesis, for example hypothesis, main body, introduction, okay, summary, without this we cannot say this, that we have a whole research, our whole research is complete. But in some circumstances, where a special cases, some researchers in the field of urgency needs to write only a literature review. For example, nowadays we have an emergency in the whole world because of this pandemic disease of coronavirus. Okay, so we have an urgency to write uh, urgent researches. Okay, so in this urgency, if we have these type of emergency situations, so the researchers or the scholars needs to write only a full thorough literature review, and they say this, that this is our full research, because in these type of special or unusual circumstances. Okay, so see the importance of this element. This element has a very important uh, importance in our research work. So producing a literature review may also be a part of graduate or postgraduate students' work, as we already discussed, it including the preparation of thesis, dissertation, or a journal article. Literature reviews are also common in a research proposal or prospectus. You know, in different universities, universities are making prospectus. Okay, so in the prospectus also, literature review is also very common heading, common element, if you will find this. Research proposals also, because you know, if you are writing any research, you have to write a research proposal prior this in most of the circumstances. So in the research proposal also, you need to write a proper literature reviews. Okay, so including in the preparation of thesis, as we discussed, in the prospectus, in the research dissertations, journal articles, and research proposals. Okay, so the document that is approved before a student formally begins a dissertation or thesis. In this, the literature review has a very effective and an important element in this. Okay, so the types of the literature review, there are many types of the literature review. The main types are, you can say this, evaluative, exploratory, and instrumental. There are three main types of literature review. The first one is evaluative. The second literature review type is exploratory. The third one is the instrumental. And the fourth type also is a systematic review. It's a systematic review. Okay, so there are four types of. Somebody asked you in your life that how many types of literature review are. So there are four types of literature review. The first one is the evaluative. The second one is the exploratory. The third one is the instrumental, and the last one is the systematic reviews. Okay, so there are four types of literature reviews, which is oftenly classified separately, but is essential in a literature review focus. It focused on a research question which tries to identify or appraise, select, and synthesize all high quality research evidences and arguments which is relevant to that question. Okay, a meta analysis is typically a systematic review. In the systematic review, we can also say that this review is also known as a meta-analysis. And what is the meaning of meta-analysis? Meta means many, and analysis means discussion. So this is known as the systematic review. So this is the fourth type, and the fourth type known as the systematic review. And the other name of the systematic review is a meta-analysis. This meta-analysis is commonly used in many types of researches in many world. So a meta-analysis is typically a systematic review which uses statistical methods to effectively combine the data used on all selected studies to produce a more reliable result. Okay, so this is known as these are the types of the literature review. And again, I have to repeat this. How many types of literature reviews? If somebody asks you in your life, there are four types of literature reviews. The first type is known as evaluative. The second type is known as exploratory. The third type is known as instrumental. Okay, and the fourth one, and which is the last one, and which is the very common one, which is known as systematic review. Okay, and this fourth type, which is the systematic review, is also known as the meta-analysis. And why is known as meta-analysis? Because it has many discussions. Meta means many, analysis means discussions. Okay, now we understand is that what is the process of literature review and how we will find this in a perfect manner. So my dear students, it distinguishes between the process of literature review and a finished work or product known as literature review. The process of literature review, the literature is often ongoing and informs many aspects of the empirical research projects. We can say this that this process of reviewing the literature requires different kinds of activities and ways of thinking. And you know, these are the things, these are the general processes in which a literature review is basically is commonly used in many articles, in many forms of things in which we will discuss these type of things in a plenty of ways. Okay, in a plenty of ways. Now we need to study the first type, which is known as the empirical study of the literature review. The empirical study of the literature review is an interdisciplinary field of research which includes the psychology, sociology, philosophy, the context study of literature, and the history of the leading literacy texts. The General Society for the Empirical Study of Literature and Media is also learned association which brings together experts in this field, and we can say this that the empirical study of literature attracts the scholarships, particularly in the area of reception and audience studies, and in cognitive psychology when it is you can say this that it is concerned with the questions of reading. In these two areas, the research and studies based on the framework are steadily growing. Further fields where the frameworks in various revised and expanded versions attracts the scholarships, which is comparative cultural studies and pedagogy. One of the several this dictionary definitions of the fields which are as follows. We know this that it is the movement within the study of the literature concerns with the study of literature as a social system, which are the interactions. The main questions is what happens to literature. It is written, published, and distributed, read, censored, imitated, etc. Uh, you know, the empirical study of the literature review, it is originated as a reaction to and an attempt at it's solving the basic problems of researches and how it is the validation of literary interpretation and can be demonstrated. From reception theory, it had already become clear that interpretations are not only tied into the text but also and even to be great extent. You know, the empirical study of literature review is the object of the study of the empirical study of literature is not only the text itself but the roles, actions within the literature system, namely production, distribution, reception, and the process of texts. Okay, so the methods used are primarily taken from the social sciences, reception theory, cognitive science, psychology, etc., etc. In general, the steps to be taken in empirical research are the formation of thesis, putting it into practice, testing and evaluation. More concretely, for the study of reader response, a wide array of techniques are used, ranging from protocol techniques and thinking aloud protocol and pre-structure, such as the semantic 7 point scale. Okay, so these are the things which we gonna discuss regarding the empirical study or the empirical approach of the literature review. And we can say this that it has a very thorough form. Okay, so there are some subcategories of the literature review in the which is known as the first subcategory is known as literature by form. The second one is the literature by language. The third one is the literature by location. The fourth one is literature by period. The fifth one is the literature by source. The sixth one is the literature by topic. The seventh one is the literature by medium. Okay, and the last one, which is rarely used but in some researches, which is known as the literature of by writer or the literature by archives. Okay, so these are the forms of the these are the subcategories of the literature reviews, and in many circumstances these things are happening in the subcategory of different things. There are some novels, okay, in which the first published in the serial form, and these novels also has some you can say this that has a series, which can say this that in these novels there is a form of huge literature, and we can say this, if you see the novels, the the thickness of novel is like this, like for example 400 pages, 500 pages. So in the novels there are many types of literature reviews are there, and this is a form of a literature review. So we can say this, the novels is also a form of a literature review, and we can say this that these literature reviews are very commonly used in and more effective circumstances in which we have seen these type of literature reviews in many places of the world. Okay, so a literature review is also in a research study in the form of survey books, scholarly articles, and many other sources, which includes the particular areas of research or theory, and by so doing provides the primary and critical evaluation of these works in relation to the research which is in the investigative sentences. Have you ever observed, my dear students, that what is the purpose of a literature review? I mean, why a literature review is essential in any research, and what purpose this literature review is basically, we can say this that is essential. Why it is essential? Have you ever think about this? So literature review is essential. The main purpose of the literature review is to identify the areas of prior scholars and the publications which gives credit to other researchers. It identifies the inconsistencies of research, the conflict of research in previous studies, okay, in open questions left behind the researchers in many other places of the world. Okay, okay, so what are the examples of a literature review? Literature review is a survey of scholars sources that provides to overcome the problem for a particular topic. It generally follows the discussions of the papers, thesis, research work, proposals, and many other things which is governed in many other societies of the world. There are some goals of the research work, and of the literature review. It documents the state of the art with respect to the study topic. A literature review has four main objectives. Okay, the first objective is that it surveys the literature in your study, in your chosen area. It synthesizes the information in that literature into a summary, and etc. How to begin an effective literature review? This is also a very important part. It starts by writing your thesis statement. This is an important introductory sentence that will tell you, the reader, what is the topic is, and the overall perspective or arguments you will be presenting. Like essays, like literature reviews must have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Okay, what are the characteristics of a literature review? A good literature review is not simply a list describing a summarizing several articles. A literature review is discursive prose which proceeds to a conclusion by reason or argument. A good literature review shows signs of synthesis and understanding of the topic, and etc. Okay, what are the advantages of a literature review? Literature review gives a conceptual framework for research or project planning, because students can have a clear idea of what has already been done in the field. And this helps students to build up new research topics on the basis of existing literatures, can substitute with computer or the systems. Okay, and what is literature review in simple words? In somebody asks you in your life that, in simple words, how you describe a literature review? If somebody asks you, so it's a simple words. A literature review is a comprehensive summary of previous research on a topic. The literature review surveys scholarly articles, books, and other sources which is relevant to a particular area of research. The review should enumerate, which describes, summarize, objectively evaluate, and clarify this previous research. This is the simple words of literature review. If somebody asks you in your life that what are the simple words, so literature review is a comprehensive summary of previous researches on a topic. The literature review surveys scholarly articles, books, and other sources relevant to a particular area of research. The review should enumerate, describe, summarize, objectively evaluate, and clarify this previous work, and etc. etc. Okay, so these are the things which we gonna discuss in today's lecture regarding literature review. Today is a very comprehensive discussion, and because our chapter name is literature review, and we discuss this literature review in a very comprehensive manner, and I hope you will learn this learning and enjoy this comprehensive learning regarding the literature review. And we can say this, that uh, literature review is a very interesting part of any topic of any research. And we need to begin the literature review by establishing a context or background for the argumented or explored in the rest of the paper. It convey to your reader what knowledge and ideas have been established on a topic. It next narrow the focus. It discuss the literature that aligns with the specific focus of your paper, etc. etc. And a strong literature review is a good review which does not summarize the literature but discusses it critically, the, to analyze or to evaluate critically. The critical evaluation is a good form of a literature review. It identifies the methodological problems and points out the research gaps. It's after having to read a review of the literature, a reader should have a rough idea of the major achievements in the reviewer's field, the outstanding research questions, etc. etc. Okay, we also discussed the major types of the literature reviews. My dear students, there are four major types of the literature review. The first one is the scoping reviews. The second one is the systematic quantitative literature review. The third one is the Cochrane reviews, and the fourth one is the Campbell collaboration. Campbell collaboration is a collaboration which is made by a scholar who is known as Campbell. He's a Canadian person, and his Campbell review is also a very important essence in the field of the literature review. Scopus is also a very highly peered journals or citations in which we can say this, that Scopus is also a very highly based learning database of the research articles and the literature reviews. Semantic scholar or semantic quantitative literature review is also a very important database in today's world. We can say Google Scholar, ResearchGate. You can find these type of things in many in the Googles, Research Scholar, ResearchGate, Semantic Scholar, Scopus, SCI Science Citation Indexes, which is known as the Clarivate Analytics, and Publon. So these are the channels in which these are the websites or the databases in which you will find a lot of literature reviews in many highly scholarly activities which was in the past being published. Okay, so I hope you will learn this lecture, my dear students. You will enjoy this, and it is a very collective learning, and with the help of this literature review learning, you will learn how to write a proper literature review, because this literature review has a very important element of any research. Without a proper or a comprehensive or a strong literature review, one cannot be achieved to write a proper research. You cannot achieve your research goals or your research targets, because research literature review is the most important or the most powerful element of any research work. Okay, so I hope you will learn this, and my dear students, my request is to please submit me your assignments on time and in a timely manner, and submit me the full research report, because we can say hardly 1 month is left in this semester, and this is all online learning, and it's no need to confused anything. Just give me the report, give me the assignments, email me the assignments on time. I will give you the gradings and evaluate your assignments and your thesis project works. And please don't, I am requesting you again, don't forget to submit me these your assignments on time. And literature review we just finished today, and I hope in this chapter you will learn this, and it has some, you will learn the importance of this, and I hope for the best. And we will meet again in the next week. Till then, to be continued, and goodbye.